The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore.
I've been lit for days. I wish my life was on a different page. I got peers and they got shit for brains. If you calm, you must have missed the rage. Me and the homies in our hundreds, but who's counting? We all ditched our rage. I got a biddy with a booty, don't stop. That shit clap like a crowd, that 187 the cop. I know a guy with an IQ that's peaking the top. He got a felony on his sheet, he pushing the mob. There's a house of cards being built around me and you. No sign of the doors or windows, but they'll sell you the view. Most of these homebodies pay the rent, but ain't got a clue. It's the same old kidnapping, just the ransom is new. The world we living in is really stranger than fiction. My fucking shrink done gave me pills to kick my Twitter addiction. Some of you folks fragile, scared to make a decision. Congratulations, you're still missing your prison.
I don't want you to protest, I don't want you to riot, I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it, my life has
I'm
value.
in the danger zone. The feds listen when I'm on the phone. I ain't special, that's just how it's going. Yesterday I had to smoke a clone. Got high enough to tap my dome. Started slurring like I'm Post Malone. It ain't an office, it's a rush to the loot. Outside a voting center, sign said, who got the juice? If we're a being capable of such a noble pursuit, then why ask the tree to stop making poisonous fruit? No system ever wanted us to win from the start. Imagine choking on the paint but still respecting the art. That's why these kids are willing to walk into the dark. And besides, a little danger can be good for your heart. You can peek behind the curtain, but it's on with the show. They think to shut this shit down, you gotta prove what you know. The only thing worse than clickbait from Donnie and Joe is the thought of either one of them fucking me slow.
And when the 12th largest company in the world controls the most awesome goddamn propaganda force in the whole godless world, who knows what shit will be better for truth on this network? Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube. You eat like the tube. You raise your children like the tube. You even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs.
Good evening. So, first off, I need to get something out of the way because, this is so beyond frustrating to me. I intend to live a private life. Not because I'm up to no good, but because that's how I was raised. I don't know. I prefer it that way. I don't want to be up anybody else's butt, and I don't want anybody up mine. Now, I know that that's not the norm. That is totally 180 degrees out from what society says is the way to live. 180 degrees out from what the media says is the way to live. But let me explain something. I am 48 years old. Do you want to take a guess at how many of those years I have lived set apart? Try 48. Try 48. I have been a loner all of my life. I have been nothing but chastised, accused. It is absolutely ridiculous what I have to go through. And as Father Yah and Jen is my witness, I ain't doing nothing to nobody. But I damn well ain't gonna let somebody screw with me either. I draw a line. I draw a lot of lines. My dad taught me a lot of very, very good lessons. Most of them, unfortunately, I wasn't smart enough to realize until he was already gone. But one that I was smart enough to realize at a very young age, thankfully, is lessons on advice. Now, one of the two lessons there, I had to learn the hard way at a young adult age and lost a best friend. And fortunately, I don't have an issue with the other one because I don't do it, because I think it's as wrong gets. And those two things about advice that my dad told, the advice my dad gave me about advice on you, let's say, not giving advice, right? Hey, that's what it is. My dad had taught me that when it comes to like relationship advice, be very, very, make sure you're not in a position to where you can be hurt. Pardon me. So what do I do? Real quick, I'll tell you this story. Best friend at the time, I had, hang on. Man, I'm having a rough time. One sec. Okay, there we go. I think. So, my best friend at the time, I had actually wound up staying with him and his girlfriend. And it wasn't like, I'm homeless thing or anything like that. It was like, hey, why don't you come live with us? We'll split the bills. Be cheaper for everybody. One of those deals. Okay, so moved in. And within about a week or so, his girlfriend is really coming on to me. And I mean, it's not some little bit, no, we're talking grabbing the whole nine. And I just kind of would pull away, ignore it, didn't say nothing to my buddy. Well, he was gone somewhere one day, and me and Herd went over to a mutual friend of all of ours. And as I was there, I unwillingly witnessed them two having sex. And whatever, I try not to get involved. Dad's advice, remember? And so, I was torn. I was absolutely torn. Well, one night, maybe about a week and a half or whatever later, they come home from being out, and Bruce, sorry, I didn't mean to use his name, but he said, hey, I got something to tell you. He said, I proposed tonight, and he said, I want you to be my best man. And I didn't know what to do. And at the moment, I just, congratulations, yes, of course. And I don't know if it's like 3 or 4 days went by, and them days were hell. This was my best friend, man. And I couldn't do it no more. And I told him. And at first there was denial and yada yada yada. And I told my buddy, I said, dude, you can ask the other dude. I said, he ain't gonna lie to you. And because actually I was best friends with both of them at different times, but I know both of them very well. And so once my best friend at the time realized that I was telling the truth, he was like, "To hell with this." So me and him got an apartment, or not an apartment, it was a little 3-room house. We rented it together, and wasn't even there a month before he went running back to her, and every single bill got dropped on my lap, and I was the bad guy, and, I haven't spoke to him since. Thought the world of the man. He's a good man. He truly is a good man. I miss him. So I learned that lesson. But the other lesson about advice that thankfully I've not have to learn, because I won't go there, is do not give unsolicited advice. Why? Who says that person's looking for any? And the moment you do that, you're automatically telling them that they don't know how to run their own life. No, thank you. No, thank you. And I will be an ass about it. And not be apologetic. I am not naive. I know 100% of the situation, not part of it, not little morsels. I know all of the situation because it's my life. So let me go there for just a moment. I'm going to say this, it's going to get dropped, and it's never going to get spoken up again. But I have to do this because I'll be damned if I'm the bad guy again. I'll be damned if I sit here quiet and not say anything so I don't make any waves. That mic is dead. And all these fake victims better get that through their skulls, because I will out you for the world to see. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what I'm dealing with here, is a fake victim. And I will not put up with it, and I will not be told I need to just apologize. Apologize to somebody that's got my PTSD off the charts right now with this, because this is what I lived with for 9 years in a marriage. And I'm supposed to apologize? Haven't seen my boys since 2014. Because of somebody that's trying to pull this crap. Or somebody that did pull that crap. You know what I mean. I'm frustrated and I'm sorry. Told you, I get pissed. Pissed enough, I'll give up a show that I've done for 6 years. Folks, don't give people unsolicited advice. They don't want it. And if I want your advice, I will most certainly ask it. And be appreciative of it, because I asked for it. Let me just say, regarding the incident that happened here, that what happened recently was not the first issue. I will explain the first issue, and this happened, I'm going to guess, a month and a half ago or so, maybe 2. Just so you can get an idea. The previous tenants had asked us, before they had left, we would keep an eye out for packages. They were in the process of getting married and wedding registry, you know the drill. Yeah, of course. Well, didn't really expect, it was kind of interesting because there was mail that came in their name, and, that mail was real quickly, oh, well, here you go. And that other person involved knew that I was getting their mail and stuff to them. They knew it. Well, that changed with packages from Amazon. All of a sudden, it changed with packages from Amazon. Now, all of a sudden, it was not okay for the owners of that package to come and pick it up. It was not okay for me to call them and let them know. Things changed when it came to a package. But it didn't stop there. And I noticed that right away. Right that second, I noticed that change in behavior. Folks, if you want to fool me, you better make damn sure you don't change your pattern. And I'll bet you I'll pick up on a change. Anyway, I noticed the pattern change. I also noticed a change in tone and everything else. Well, then, as they went into their door, they made a comment, something to the effect of, I can't even have a package delivered without others looking at it. Something to that effect. Now, let me tell you something. The porch here, my porch too, has been for a hell of a lot longer than it has been hers. I get packages delivered too. So that was the first time. There's another time just the other day. She brought over and offered us some biscuits and gravy. Wonderful, that's great. But I had to ask, what's in the gravy? Now, why would I need to ask that? Sure enough, it was a pork product. We can't eat it. We're trying to follow the Torah. She mocked me, did she not? She mocked me. So, if you don't know what the hell the deal is here, why in hell would you tell somebody they just need to run up to them and kiss their ass? Ain't happening. Man. And see, I typically, I'll try to give somebody 3 times before I'll just flat cut them out of my life. I'll try to do that. I try my very best. She's had more than 3 times. Now, if she wants to knock it off, I'm good. But if it's got to be like this, no. I'm smarter than that. So anyway, 20 minutes in, I am not the news, ladies and gentlemen. I do not want to be the news, and the next time I am the news, I will shut this show down, and you will never hear my voice again. Promise. Now, if we may, I would like to move on. I've got a job to do. Now maybe, can you see why I'm so upset? Don't mock my God. You don't mock my God and then somebody else turn around and tell me I need to apologize to somebody that mocked my God? Excuse me? What is that? Ooze Fabra, help me out here. I need a whole lot of that. Now I probably need to grab my ZTO maybe, or grab my Bible in my hand and just relax. I've actually been sleeping with it. Have you noticed that? Yeah, Jen hadn't even noticed it. I actually been sleeping with my Bible, so and not the one from Bear, but my one that I actually got from Seven Trumpets Prepper. So there's a lot in this Bible, and I don't think there's an object that I could hold in my hand that could help me through any darker times than the one I've got in here in my hands right now. You you want to talk about a war Bible? Not in a military combat sense, but in a spiritual sense. I'm telling you what, this is my war Bible. Anyway, it's hard for me to. I'm trying to kind of unwind, trying to shift mentally. So obviously there's going to be a show change. I guess I got to get this out of the way. Obviously there's going to be a show change. We will start at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. The show will be hour and a half. It's just going to be my monologue. I'm not going to play videos afterwards or anything like that. That is for several purposes. Now, probably, the biggest purpose of me moving it down to 8 is because that frees up a lot more of my time. A lot. Being able to take that extra time of playing videos off and pushing it later into the day. Man, it's so hard to complete a task when you have to start, stop. And so this is going to help me drastically with that. I had my days scheduled so that I had a workflow. And as long as I could work that workflow, I could get everything done. If something screwed up that workflow, I had to huff it to catch back up. And I've been saying it here lately, and I mean it. It's, in a sense, to be real honest, a cry for help. It used to be I didn't have enough hours in the day. Now I don't have enough ass in my pants. And it's really concerning me. It's really bad. So I've got to adapt so that I can still produce. Now is not the time for me to sit down on the job. I don't know how many more days I'm going to be able to sit on the job. May not be many. It may only be a couple. May only be tonight. I'm telling you, this country is an extremely dark place. Now, I've talked a lot here about how I spend a lot of time gauging social reaction on social media. And most times, I won't put any input, most times. Because it's not, that's just it. It's not about me. It has nothing to do with me. I'm wanting to gauge other people's reactions. So I typically read through the comments and I'll ask questions about somebody's reactions. Most of the time are answered already in the comments because things get discussed and people's, stances come out, so to speak. And it's very telling. And if need be, I might poke and ask a question or ask somebody to clarify something or something like that. But here lately, there's there's an incident that happened that is disgusting to me. And I am not excusing anything from anybody. I don't get how we have to do this game to where if we call something out, that automatically means that we're approving the other side. No. This whole red team, blue team, high school football game stuff needs to stop. That's why we're here. Man, I have played devil's advocate forward, backwards, sideways. Any direction you can imagine. And I can't anywhere see how the event that happened in Texas is not an unlawful use of violence and intimidation especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. You can try to think I'm as stupid as you want, but when you go surrounding a vehicle with a bunch of other vehicles, let's not be stupid. Okay, let's change this up. To anybody that wants to say that wasn't harassment or that wasn't intimidation, let's change this up. All right, let's make it okay for a bunch of guys in big pickup trucks, likely armed. They were reported to be armed. I don't know if that's true or not, but they probably were. It's Texas. I mean, come on. But, okay. So then you would be totally okay with a whole bunch of big pickup trucks raising hell around your wife down the highway? Or your daughter? You're good with that? That's just having fun. That's escorting them. It's cute. It's cute, right? It's cute. When it's your wife, when it's your daughter. It's cute, isn't it? Nice little escort. See how things change real damn quick when we use our brain? Sorry, didn't mean to hit the mic there. I was trying to adjust my glasses. Normally it's out of the way, unless I try to adjust my glasses. Terrorism. Let's not play games here. If you wouldn't be okay with them doing the same with your wife, your husband, your daughter, your son, let's not go there. And if you are okay with that, you're a piece of shit. You know, I don't know what's going to come of this. But I can tell you this. The left has their impeachable offense. You handed it to them. How so? Well, first, we can't live in a land of denial. That's number one. Number two, we have to understand that anywhere you slice it, this was a clear act, by definition, of terrorism. By the book. Now, there's a lot of damn laws and stuff I don't stand up for, and I think are absolute bullshit. But let me tell you what, this ain't one of them. This is one I'll stand behind, and I won't stand behind a whole lot of laws. Constitution, yes. All these bullshit laws, no. But terrorism kind of already fits into the Constitution, because if you commit terrorism against somebody, well, then you're affecting their life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So it's already covered. However, this ain't about that. With Trump vehemently supporting these actions, he is there supporting terrorism. No two ways to slice it. Stop playing the games with it. I'm not saying this because I'm anti-Trump. No, that's not why I'm saying this. I'm saying this because you guys better be ready for it. I mean, I'll tell you what, I would really have to wonder what was up if they didn't try to impeach Trump over this. I'll tell you what, they don't try to impeach Trump over this, then you know it's a circus sideshow. Because they finally got him. All those investigations, all that time, nothing. And then he turns around and puts it in their lap. I can't believe it. So anyway, we can't act like that. It doesn't matter what side you're on. We can't act like that. We can't. Not entirely sure who that would be, but not answering. Anywho. Folks, I don't know what is going to happen in the coming days. What I do know is that this nation is so incredibly divided and so incredibly enraged. And the sad thing is a lot of them are enraged at the wrong one. In fact, most all of them are enraged at the wrong ones. There's a lot of people that's been carrying a lot of weight with all this here recently, myself included. And I see it. They're independent. The Patriot Nurse. At Full Spectrum Survival. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know he kind of tends to like the doom gloom stuff. I get that. No. He's concerned. There's a difference. Doom gloom, let's get some views and let's make a little bit of money. That's one thing. No. He's concerned. He's concerned. You know, one of the biggest reasons I'm back here, and I'm not going to name drop, but I've had a few people contact me. In different ways. Meaning some on Facebook, some on email. And again, I'm not going to name drop, but I can't believe some of the individuals that contacted me. Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you. And for the words. One of them left some very, very kind words. I don't want to out anybody. Thank you. I'd never even realized you knew I, you know. If this goes south, it's gonna happen quick. Right now, I got them all done. Everything. I got to put my charging base back. Damn it! I forgot to put it back in my bag. I can't forget. Anyway, I went through, got all the radios all charged up, extra batteries for the radios charged up, and got the radios charged up, the extra batteries for the radios charged up, and then the power banks to recharge those batteries charged up. So, yeah, radios, we don't have to worry about communications for the most part, especially as long as I got my bug out bag with me. Definitely don't have to worry about not having battery for communications. Literally, yeah, it would be pretty infinite. Nonetheless, though, without having to acquire power from anywhere, just in my radio, my comm bag alone, which is, comm bag could be several things. It could be something two guys have to carry, or, in this case, it's just for me, just like a little shoulder bag kind of thing. And I could probably go, I would say a week with what's in there without getting any other outside power source to recharge anything. I think I could get about a week. I think that ought to do. Hey, you never know. You never know how long you might have to be in the field. So, communications is extremely important. I would urge you all to do the same. Go through your bug out bag, charge all your batteries, do this stuff, please. Refamiliarize your stuff. And most importantly, please stage your stuff. Have it ready. Have it ready. Know right where it's at. Those seconds are what counts most, and I'm speaking to the seconds that you spend, and a lot of times it turns into minutes, going to get something. I carry an EDC, so I have things on my body. I don't go anywhere. I'm at home. I carry an EDC. Why? Things happen. There could be a car accident out front. I'm not gonna not be ready to respond just because the chances are slimmer. That's crazy. Russian roulette either way you go. And I'm not going to play Russian roulette with another person's life. Or my own. So even if I sit at home, I got my EDC. Hey, you know the number one reason I don't just sit in my jammies all day? 2 reasons. Now there's 2 reasons. Well, before, when it was only one, it was because my jammies don't have an EDC. Right? Now my jammies don't have an EDC and there's no belt loops to put my ZTO. So there is that. Make sure you go over and triple go over everything. Go over your plans. And I know, folks, you've been inundated lately with the top 10 or 5 or 20 or 80 things that you need to know before the election. I'm not trying to do that. Not trying to do that. Go over everything. And, you know, I am doing, you know, man, this stuff is old hat for me. And I'm finding myself hurriedly going over things over and over and over and over in my head. Now, mind you, our situation is a little bit different than a lot of people's. Our ability to respond to a bug out situation is highly different than most people's. And depending, I'm not going to OPSEC myself here, depending on what the situation is, would depend on how we need to bug out, whether it's just us or we'll say with assistance, and I'll leave it at that. Then, you know, whatever, but make sure that you've got all your plans gone through. Play devil's advocate with every one of those plans. However many times you can play devil's advocate, try to poke as many holes in as you can and figure out ways to overcome those holes. And then when you think you're kick-ass, start throwing in multiple different holes at the same time and learn how to figure out how to overcome that. Play those middle games for a while, and you'll come up with a pretty damn solid plan. And when I say plan, I hate that word because it's singular, okay? And the word plans in plural doesn't quite say the same thing. Whenever I say the word plan, understand that there can be a million sub-plans within that plan, or backup plans within that plan. I don't think there is ever an instance that you will hear me say the word plan that I only mean one. Okay? It's a good mindset to have. Automatically, when you hear the word plan, automatically start seeking as many options as you can, right? Because plan to me is a predictive language type of word. They want to single you down to one thing with that word. And I'm homie don't play that. homie likes options. I'm not one to, you know, when it comes to problem solving, I am not going to let you give me multiple choice. I'm going to say, give me the information and I'll let you know. Because the moment you let them start giving you choices, think about this. The moment that you start letting them give you choices and letting them choose those choices, not your choice at all, is it? Oh, what does that remind me of? I don't know. But anyway, nonetheless, make sure you go over everything good. This is not a practice. Not a practice. The other thing we got going on, obviously, is COVID. We are seeing quite a little surgence here locally in our town. I have been watching the same numbers, the Bing COVID tracker, Because again, like I told you guys from the beginning, and even if I'm doing it here privately, I'm going to stick with one. I'm not going to sit there and bounce between them. I'm going to stick with one. I figure they're all probably BS, so I might as well just stick with one. And there was definitely an uptrend, a healthy uptrend, and in here in the last day showed a considerable downtrend, but there is definitely an upswing in everything. And I don't know, I've I've listened to a few channels, and they brought it up, and they all say, "Oh, cases are up, but deaths aren't." Explain that. Cases are up, but deaths aren't. I need them first to explain to me why they think deaths aren't up, because they are. Sharply. I don't know where they're getting their information that deaths aren't up, but see, that's why you don't want to get your information from somebody that has any type of partisan agenda, because they are liars. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. They are liars, and unless you're into that kind of thing, running around spreading lies, I would suggest you kind of look into it a little deeper, because the deaths are up considerably. Again, the last day on the Bing COVID tracker, that's the one I'm following, the last day it showed a considerable drop. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I know here locally, like I said, there's been pretty substantial outbreak. I do highly suspect it's going to get a lot worse, not just here locally, but across the nation. Folks, what I think we're going to have is what I was trying to warn about before that didn't happen because summer happened. Okay? I'm telling you, what I watched in China, what I watched in Iran, and I'm using the term watched, and that doesn't really even come close to covering it. China, Iran, and Italy. No. See, I spoke with people in those countries. Firsthand. People firsthand. And what they were telling me was horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. And I know damn well it was happening. For me to question these people, especially on this subject, would be goofy. So it is a thing. The problem is the summer really did knock it down. And I was wrong about that, and I apologize. Summer knocked the hell out of it. But it's coming back with a vengeance, and I'm watching it. I'm watching it here. And I just want to remind folks that there were spouses in Italy begging us to take it seriously, because they were stuck waiting with their dead spouse or dead loved one for days before the body could be picked up. Wasn't media hype. I confirmed it on more than one occasion, and in fact, that was a regular practice. Now, how do you think that is? Do you think that's not an issue, that you have to spend days with a dead loved one until somebody can come pick up their body? Overwhelmed is overwhelmed. That's the other rumor going around. Oh, the hospitals aren't hardly even affected. That's a lie. Man, I do not know if people are just flat out making it up or what. Be careful. of where you get your information. And I'm not trying to fearmonger you about this. I'm trying to just tell you the truth. That's all I want anybody else to do. Just tell the truth. Let people make up their own decisions. Right? But you can't let people make their own decisions if you're not going to tell them the truth. They don't want you making your own decisions. They want to lead you. They want to guide you. They want to own you. But with that comes responsibility. The truth is, folks, it's, it's not an extinction level thing. It's not the bubonic plague. It's not that. The problem is how highly contagious it is. And that in combination with how sick it can make people. Common sense. It's going to overrun. And what happens when it's overrun? Well, then people that would have normally been able to be saved won't be able to, because they'll die at home because the hospitals are overrun and there's no place else for them to go. So they die at home. And that's how you get a loved one having to sit with a dead body for a few days. The only thing that prevented that here was summer. Now, you want to take that factoid and mix it with the other factoid that almost every single time in history, the second wave has been considerably worse than the first. We got far more than election issues. And then you have to understand that other nations, like for instance China, would jump at the chance to invade a weak nation. If we're in a state of civil war, don't you think we're a weak nation? I do. Hell, without the Civil War, you take the Civil War out of it, just everything else except the Civil War part, and we're a weak nation. Hey, I don't like it either. I want to change it. Can't change it if we deny it. Gotta smoke a cone, tap my dome. Hey, it's legal. Bite me. Man, make sure you got everything ready, because I think this is that first hill on the roller coaster. No, we're at that top, and in fact, we've already started down the top. However, about like a third or a fourth of the cars are still on the other side of the apogee, holding it back just a little. And then you know how when that last roller coaster car comes over the top of that apogee, and all of a sudden the full weight of the whole coaster gets on that hill? That's what it's going to be like. Once this levee breaks, it's going to be a flood. It's going to be non-stop. Better be ready. I'm sure I'm probably looked at by now as doom and gloom channel and stuff like that. It's not my intent. Obviously, there's things that I can't say as well with all of this. Things as far as information that has come my way. Usually always some of that. Not good. I would highly recommend making sure that some of those preps that you have out, like, and right straight access to, is anything that you have in order to, if you happen to live like in an apartment dwelling or something like that, or even a house in town or something like that, and you are going to have to be conscious of your light or sound, go ahead and get that stuff staged. Not up. Don't put it up. Unless you want. You can put it up. It's up to you. Hell, people are boarding their windows up. But have it ready. That way it can go up at a moment's notice. Because you don't know when that moment's going to come. And it's usually not going to be your most convenient moment. So just have it staged, have it ready. That's important. Man, light discipline is especially when you're in something like a home or a building like that, or inside of a populous area. You definitely want a way to be able to mitigate that light, because that's huge. And of course, I'm talking about if power's out. Of course, power's not out. Probably not going to be such a big deal if you got a light on. But I have a feeling, and I'm not saying necessarily a nationwide grid down, right? But I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of pockets of grid down if this thing all comes apart. I guarantee you that. So be ready for that. Hey, it doesn't have to be an EMP. It doesn't have to be a nationwide grid down for it to be a grid down for you. It could be the transformer on the pole to be a grid down for you and nobody else. So be prepared for that grid down, even if it may not be a total grid down. However, if your entire town's out and you've got bright lights on inside, somebody's going to know something's up. Of course, one thing, maybe a day, two into it, but you go a week, 2 weeks into it, and you still got bright lights on, something's up. You don't want to be that guy. By the way, I'm hoping that tonight's moving on from tonight. The format's a little better. I do a little better. Tonight was a very different type of show, and I had to get things out of the way and stuff, because if I don't clear this stuff, man, I'm telling you, sunlight is the best disinfectant, and I am absolutely convinced of that. And I am one of those guys, I would rather go in my hole and be quiet and not say nothing, and nobody say nothing to me, And I'm happy there. You know, I had one guy challenge me. I told him, I said, man, this guy that actually Jen kicked out of our home, I tried telling him, in fact, it was that night, I tried telling him, I said, dude, we were having a discussion. I asked him, I said, do you really think I want to do that show? He's like, yeah. Yeah, you don't know me. No, I don't. I am not a public person. I am not a public speaker. I'm here because I am afraid to know what more may have happened to me if I continued to refuse to listen to him. That is why I'm here. Now you kind of know why I'm an ass about it when I say that this isn't my show, it's his. And I do his will, not mine. I'm here right now, right? Who the hell's will do you think that is? Why the hell did I pick up that? An old post-it note. Anyway, so I'm gonna pretty much be doing the regular monologue, except I'm gonna try to do it a little better, if that makes sense. That's what the shows are typically gonna be. You pointing something? Oh, okay. I thought you might have been trying to get my attention. Anyway, as for tonight, I figured needed to get that stuff taken care of. I'll go over headlines. Again, not going to do videos play other people's content anymore. And there's several reasons for that. Number one, time. My time. Okay? I've got to cut down the time I do this show. I can't. I cannot do 4 hours a day anymore. I can't. Also, I don't have to screw around with nothing this way. Right? And what I say is if I want a monologue to go out like in public, so to speak, on YouTube, I don't have to sit there and play around with edit it in the damn editor, re-upload it in it. No. I just, when this is done tonight and from here on out, it goes up. Boom. You can just go right to our video list. Boom. It's right there. It'll be right there. You don't have to go to the watchmannews.com and you know, look through the archives or anything. It'll be right there. Boom. So that's a huge reason, to be honest. That's a huge reason. Part of the reason why we probably don't grow is because a lot of people that might peruse our channel probably don't think we do anything. Why? Look at our videos. We don't have a whole lot. I mean, we do, don't get me wrong, but it's not consistent, right? Even though I was live every single day, well, 5 days a week, it wasn't, you couldn't tell that if you looked at my video list. The only way you'd know that is if you went to the website. That was the only way you would know, as in by actually seeing content. And believe me, trust me, done the internet thing long enough. Yeah, you know how hard it is to get somebody to click a link? Pretty damn hard. Anyway, so this way to make it a lot easier for everybody and the content to be there, I think it'll work out better. I'm going to try to do a little better job with my stuff for the I'm going to take some of that time. Here's my deal. I'm going to take some of that time that I saved and I'm going to invest it into making the monologue better on a daily thing. You know what I mean? Hopefully I can craft it a little bit better. I'm not after trying to be a professional or anything like that. I want to be efficient and I want to do a decent job. Let's see. Pardon me. Let me go ahead and do some headlines. I'll get through the headlines and I'll get out of here for the evening. Like I say, shows would be around hour and a half is what I would expect them to be. I'm not going to put a set stop time, but be starting at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for multiple reasons. For one, that allows me to be able to get through my day much easier, and as well as, because I could have just did it at 4, right? But I didn't want to do that because I'm like, well, if I'm going to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it back later in the day. And that allows me to get a lot more news in, because there's a lot of news that comes in right as I was going live at 4 p.m. So, and there's a lot of news right after 4 p.m., say between 5 and 7, that I didn't really cover because it wasn't important breaking news, but yet it was still news, and this is supposed to be news. So, not just DJ, right? And that's kind of almost what I felt like a lot is a DJ, almost. But don't get me wrong, there was purpose why I spent years showing you guys that content in those channels. And I urge you to continue to watch that content in those channels. I urge you to, please. There was a reason I brought that to you guys, okay? Because I sought out some of the best that I could find with good, trustworthy information. And that's what I wanted to provide to you. And that's another thing, and I probably need to bring that up too. Another reason why I was shying away from the videos is it's getting harder and harder for me to find somebody I feel comfortable standing behind, to be quite honest. There's even, and I'm not judging, I'm not out, and I'm not, but there's channels that I stand firmly behind, I think the world of, but I think they're slipping a little, and I think I'll just leave it there. I think I'll just leave it there. And again, it's not out of judgment, it's actually out of concern. Actually out of concern. But I'm having a hard time now even being able to fill up that content or that time, because the content anymore is either just so politically charged or it's trash, to be just blunt. And I wasn't speaking about, by the way, when I said the word trash, that has nothing to do with the channel, if anybody can guessed or thought they guessed anyway. I'm talking about, I have no problem calling out what I think's turned into trash. Things like high impact flicks, X-22 report, stuff like that. Stuff that all they do is push Trump. No common sense, no thought, no nothing. And if it's not Trump, it's anti-mask. And I'm not one of these pro-mask, I'm going to run you down in the street and force a mask on your head thinking kind of people. I'm a constitutionalist, right? All I ask is that you respect a private business owner. So if the store tells you that a mask is required, you respect the store's wishes, because that is a private business, and that is that business owner's discretion, not yours. Period. Now, if it's a government office or something like that, then you take that up with them. But a private business is a private business, and I'll be damned if I could support a baker having to make a cake for a couple he didn't feel he could make a cake for. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh no, he has to make that cake. I damn sure ain't gonna sit here and say that he's not, that a business owner's not allowed to tell you that you can't come in if you don't have on a shirt, shoes, a mask. It is what it is. Now, you're out in the street on public, that's that, right? But all I ask is that you respect property rights. I'm a constitutionalist, and I mean it. I don't just say it, I mean it. A lot of people say it, they don't mean it. Man, that Constitution is a genius document. Really is. You know, it's not nearly as good, but it's in the same direction of like the Bible, right? You can go to it for answers. You can simply go to it for answers. If you got a kind of a, if I'm going to just say legal question or whatever, that's not the right terminology, but you can go to it for answers. And by the way, speaking of preps, all that stuff, oh man, I can't believe I'm slipping on this one because this is important in my book. No pun intended. Make sure you've got copies of the Bible, and if you so choose, I don't want to impose. If you so choose, make sure you've got copies of the Bible around, and or whatever it is that you worship, as well as copies of the Constitution, if it applies, or your country's Constitution, if it differs from the United States. Make sure you have these things. These are important. Okay? These are important. You got to have something for them to threaten to kill you if you don't hand over to them, right? Kidding. Oh, maybe not so much. Folks, if you want to know what's about to happen, send that book. And if you don't think it's time, you're not paying attention to the book or the world. Not a matter of picking and choosing and, you know, and you know, one of the reasons that atheists can attack the Bible so much is because there's a lot of things that you could swing different ways. And I used those things when I was atheist to swing things those ways. Because they were pretty good. For argument's sake, anyway. I'm trying to think which one I was going to go with that. Because there are so many things. I think it was with the prepping part. I lost track. I apologize. I'm telling you. And there's a lot that I can't speak about here on the show that I'm responsible for. And that alone has got me scatterbrained. So, I was talking about prepping, something about Bibles, having them around. I don't remember. I was trying to remember back. But yeah, make sure you have those things accessible. Make sure you have a copy in the bug out bag, wherever, you know, have multiple copies. I hope that this just blows over as far as the election stuff. Well, it's all of it, but one day at a time, right? And we got a hell of a day coming. I am not going to attempt, by the way, to try to do some type of election marathon. Ain't happening. I'll come on. I'll do the show at 8 Central Standard Time, and that'll be that. I'm not, I'm just really not that interested in torture. And sitting there listening to all them jackasses for all that time is some pretty bad torture. I mean, I think I would enjoy waterboarding a little more. And as Bear has been saying recently, it's not waterboarding if you use diesel fuel. So, well, that's just ate up. Anyway, I don't think if there's anything else. I really kind of probably should get to the headlines, whiz through those, be done. I am tired, and I think that's going to work out a little bit better too. This time slot, because then I can get out, get off the show. I can take a little bit of time to wind down, and then just boom, go right to bed. So that I think will work out well. We'll see. If adjustments need made, they shall be made. Let me do some headlines here. I have a vape first. Drink a tea. Yeah, so that's going to be the other big change. I'm used to having my coffee at this point in time, and it's going to be tea now. So I'm still having I go in there still at 3 o'clock and make the coffee. That ain't changing. I gotta have that midday boost. Without that, hang on. Never did get my vape. All this talking, I haven't gotten much vaping, so yeah, blood level is getting a little bit high in my nicotine system, so. Alright, AP blames France. This is from, I guess, the night before, I guess. This isn't all the weekends or whatever. I just put up the last 24 hours worth. AP blames France for inciting Muslims to chop heads off, deletes and rewrites tweet after ferocious criticism. This stuff is insane. And I'm sure you guys know about the shooting and Austria, right? Austria? I'm trying to think of the capital. Vienna. Insane. Fauci praises Biden on COVID-19 and criticizes Trump in interview with Washington Post published 3 days before the election. Lockdowns kill. Trump COVID advisor Atlas forced to apologize for RT interview as media uproar deflects to Russian propaganda. Let's see. Quote unquote, they were protecting his bus. Trump trolls Biden supporters by praising Texas convoy that escorted rival campaign vehicle. Again, you don't do that. You don't do that. If you they could actually charge you. What's the actual charge? Vehicular endangerment for that? I'm pretty sure they could charge you with vehicular endangerment for doing that, for being in a group of vehicles and surrounding another group or another group of vehicles like that. You're definitely endangering, because nobody knows what you're going to do. You are creating an unpredictable situation, right? Because cars are just supposed to drive down the road, right? They're not supposed to come flying up on you and running in, into the front of you and boxing you in and all. And when I say running into the front, I mean running out in front and getting in front of you is what I'm saying. Boxing you in. That is not normal behavior, right? A group that is all together, right? Because of flags and honking horns and screaming and all that. Yeah. Can't excuse this. They're trying like hell, but I'm sorry, you can't excuse it. Hunter Biden's laptop with trove of top U.S. officials' data was protected by password compromising his name, says a report. Many airline companies won't survive COVID crisis, aviation body warns. Anti-Trump protesters waiting to intercept MAGA caravan violently clash with NYPD as convoy halts traffic in New Jersey. With child on way, Edward Snowden to apply for Russian citizenship, ending 7 years of legal limbo since Moscow exile. And I just hope that he's with his wife. I thought I heard at some point that she went over there, and I think that was a long time ago, actually, that she went over there. Seems like I thought I remembered that, because it seems like there was talk or possibility that they were going to maybe try to prevent her from going or something. There's something dinging in my head up there about that, about his wife, girlfriend, fiance. I don't remember for sure if he was married to her or not, but yeah, I don't know. Man, I when I saw that headline, it kind of bothered me, and I don't know whether it's with his wife or what, and it kind of bothered me. I still don't know, because man, that's just a crap sandwich for him. Same with Mr. Assange. A documentary exposing Antifa censored by YouTube or Vimeo for depicting scenes of extreme violence. Let's see. Tommy Robinson's supporters clashed with London police after his arrest for breaking COVID rules. Telling you, that stuff's coming here. You know, they're ahead of us. And the reason why you're not hearing what there is to hear here, without putting too many hears here, is because election, that's the only reason. You'd be hearing about it a little bit more, I believe, if it wasn't for all the election crapola. However, we are just far enough behind that I think we're going to just get, obviously tomorrow's election day, but I think probably within another week or so, it's really going to start being noticeable that we're getting hit. So another week, maybe two, but I think within one, we'll notice a huge uptick. Just keep an eye out. Again, this is one of those things to where just use your head. If you're at risk or you've got loved ones at risk, use your head. If you're not at risk, and you're not around those at risk, and you're not around those that, are unwillingly subjecting themselves to the possibility of getting it, I'm good then, But if there's anybody around you that may not be, because anything else is not cool. Especially if that person has pre-existing conditions and you wind up killing them. I'm one of those cats in that boat. I'm not going to run around outside and scream at everybody that ain't got a mask on, because that ain't none of my damn business. Right? But if I ask somebody to put one on when they come in my home, they damn well better do it. And it's getting to that. I haven't done that yet, but that's probably changing. Like, immediately. Period. I mean, I am not going to play with this. Born at night, not last night. And you guys hear me. Let's see. No, Trump and Biden camps accuse each other of seeking to steal election with premature victory claims and vote count lawfare. Blue. Pissy dog, lay down. Be good. She's disgruntled about something. And oh, hang on. Hang on. I can sleep on it. She's all mad because now she won't let me have my shirt. She's mad because when I was coughing when I started the show, I had on a long sleeve shirt and a short sleeve shirt over top of that. I took the short sleeve shirt off and I put it on the futon behind me. That's what she's all pissed off about, is because my shirt was on her futon. So she's running around roughing up the carpet everywhere, acting all pissy because I left my shirt on her futon. And I went to go move it, and now she won't let me have my shirt. So, see what I got to put up with? And now she just huffed at me. Fine. Let's see. These patriots did nothing wrong. Trump defends MAGA caravan that surrounded and harassed Biden bus in Texas amid FBI probe. Health hazard. Indian state bans fireworks to protect COVID-19 patients and people with heart problems. Fort White House ? Non-scalable fence to be installed around president's residence ahead of elections, says reports. Thought I heard a scream. Oh, I wonder what that was I heard. Anyway, this is kind of telling. New Zealand appoints Maori politician with facial tattoo as its first female foreign minister. Thought that was pretty awesome. I read the article a little bit, but I honestly don't remember enough because I was curious about her, about her culture, about the facial tattoo, what it represented, and hey folks, if we don't take time once in a while to learn these things, we're only robbing ourselves. There are a lot of incredible cultures out there, and don't rob yourself by not looking into some of them. 19 dead after gunmen stormed university campus in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul. And that's not the Vienna incident. China's factory activity at near decade high as pandemic fallout fades. Tell them party needs every Senate vote. Biden world plans to ban Sanders and Warren from Democrat administration. Ryanair boss blasts government lockdowns as failure after traffic air plummets 80%. UK government justifies second national lockdown using outdated death scenarios that may be 4 times too high, says researchers. Antifa-affiliated Twitter account shares riot strategy guides in preparation for U.S. election fallout, no matter who wins. Now, I don't know if this is in any way involved with what I saw earlier, a little bit earlier. I saw a video, and some chick was giving advice about what to do, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I don't know what's going to happen, folks. I guarantee you, if Trump is announced the winner, it's going to light up. It's going to light up. Now, what Red Team would do if Biden's announced the winner? Oh, I honestly don't know. I can't even guess enough to speculate. I don't know. I don't think they'll do anything. I don't care about anything else. Say they do, they might show up for a rally, but did they stop the gun laws from going in Virginia? Did they stop the bump stock bans? Did they stop the red flag laws? You really think they're going to stop this mandatory vaccine if Trump's the one that gets the ticket? You think they're going to stop the mandatory vaccine that he's going to inform us about? You don't think it's mandatory? Then maybe you should look at how many vaccines they're ordering then. Right? So, do I think the red team will cause a civil war if Biden was not? No. I don't think they got the balls. I haven't shown them yet. I'm not against red team. That's not the point of me telling the truth. Just because I tell the truth doesn't make me against somebody. It's the truth. If you're against the truth, then you need to question your own motives, not mine. I don't know where it's going to go. Like I say, I don't know for sure who's going to be announced to win. You notice I'm careful how I use my words there. I didn't say who's elected, because I'm pretty damn certain Trump's going to get elected. Maybe not quite by the landslide that he did before, but I'm pretty sure that he's going to get. He's going to actually be the one that should be the winner. It's common sense. Come on, really? Okay, so I have a very, 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 very diverse group of friends, like on social media. Very diverse, right? And I can only tell you maybe 3 or so or 4 that I've seen promoting Biden. And anybody else that's discussing politics, guess who they're promoting? Now, I don't seek conservative friends. I've got friends all over the gambit. In fact, if you were to stack it up, I probably got more liberal friends or center-ish to liberal friends than anything else. Not because I necessarily agree with their political ideology. I don't judge people based upon their political ideologies. You can be my friend if you're liberal. I don't care. I'm not conservative. And likewise, if you're conservative, you can be my friend. Don't think I'm going to join your cult. Anyway, I was doing headlines or something, wasn't I? Smoking another bowl. What? Canadian police probe suspicious fires that destroyed 2 churches located just 10 minutes apart. Gold will resume its 2020 rally once U.S. election noise dies down. Me and that damn that button. Royal Bank of Canada. Says the Royal Bank of Canada. Oh, they're saying the rally will continue. We'll see if there's time for the rally to continue. Okay. I don't know if there'll be enough time for the rally to continue. You have to understand, once the machines get turned off, so to speak, all of a sudden your markets aren't going to be keeping track. You know what I mean? Your gold ain't going to be raising up in that sense anymore. Let's see. Fire Fauci. Trump ignites outrage by suggesting he will fire top U.S. virologist after chants from Florida crowd. Result in just minutes, Russian scientists discover way to diagnose cancer and other diseases with a single drop of blood. Egypt seeks to jointly manufacture pioneering Russian-developed Sputnik V coronavirus vaccine, Foreign Minister Shokri reveals. Huh? Oh, I thought you were looking at me for my attention. Let's see. Britain retakes direct control of its nuclear weapon management from Lockheed Martin-led consortium. Researchers confirm existence of 5-million-year-old honey badger relative that terrorized bigger predators on African plains. Right? So, not just any old honey badger, right? Not just any old honey badger. Oh, no. These were the badgers of the honey badgers. Apparently, yeah. So, definitely my spirit animal. England will return to tiered system after 4-week COVID lockdown, says UK Chancellor Sunak rebuffs Gove. Oil prices slump as new COVID lockdowns threaten global energy demand. Let's see. As U.S. election looms, Russians have ceased to hope that anything good will come out of America, regardless of who is president. Pardon me. I would say that is correct. Russia's not going to win with Trump. I don't know where folks are getting this idea. Russia's not going to win with Trump. I guarantee you China will win with Biden. So, there's that. Prison friend of Julian Assange commits suicide to avoid deportation, whistleblower's partner says. Fire erupts inside warehouse filled with gas tanks in southern Moscow. China defends quarantine measures on seafood imports from Australia, days after it halted timber shipment, citing biohazard danger. A COVID curfew to be rolled out across all of Italy, PM Conte reveals, among more new restrictions. Telling you, it's coming here too. Remember, we're like 2-ish weeks behind. Okay? I don't expect it to be any different this time around. We're going to be about 2-ish weeks behind. Now, the one thing I don't know is air travel. I'm assuming that at least there is some going on between countries. I don't know if I'm wrong on that or not. So we'll see. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter because it's already in these countries. And from what we saw when this outbreak first started, back when it was still cold out, February, stuff like that, this thing was nasty. I mean, it had no mercy. And I'm not talking about necessarily the depth of sickness that everybody experienced. No, it's not that. But when it comes to spreading it, it's just unbelievable. I think we're going to see that again. I think it's going to happen again. Greece imposes 2-week lockdown in northern regions as flights are suspended. So see, you're seeing this stuff all over there. To think it's not going to happen here is silly. We're just a little behind. Portugal set to announce state of emergency over coronavirus crisis. China to build world's longest underwater high-speed rail tunnel. 50,000 strong anti-Macron rally in Bangladesh marches towards French embassy. Macron effigy burned. Let's see. It shouldn't be a lonely Christmas. Merkel upbeat about December, but rules out lavish New Year's Eve parties amid COVID. We shall see. There's crazy stuff going on in different places when it comes to this COVID lockdown stuff. I swore I read something somewhere about Christmas and families in one country, and I don't remember what it was exactly that I was reading about it, but it was pretty insane. I do remember it was insane. It might be in the headlines. I don't know. Vatican walks back Pope's comments on civil unions. Hey, over the weekend, I still looked at headlines. While I haven't been doing the show, I didn't avoid the news. I still got it. Let's see. Beijing warns of reciprocal action as U.S. delays visa renewals for Chinese journalists. France sparks outrage in Turkey with plans to outlaw Grey Wolf's nationalist group. Coining it through COVID. The well-connected companies who made a mint thanks to the pandemic. Oh, I hate when I share articles I share the article like that, but I forget I don't mean to read that one to you. Because it's information, it's articles, but it's not necessarily a headline. Let's see. Unfazed pianist plays his heart out as street bursts into flames and explosions ring out at Barcelona anti-lockdown clashes. This is madness. This is absolute madness. That there was Barcelona, Spain. Sorry, I had to cough, so I muted real quick. Yeah. That is surreal. Is that not? I'm thinking one of those images that probably will never leave my head. And images, I mean video, but you know what I mean. That's something that will never leave my head, I guarantee you. And it throws me so many directions when I see it, when I hear it. I guess maybe that's why it stands out so much, I see the beauty in it, I see the horror. Crazy. We're in some crazy times. I hope you're ready. Conspiracy of old elites and oligarchs Ukraine's Zelensky accused its constitutional court of protecting country's untouchables. Kabul University attacked. Islamic State claims responsibility after 22 people killed in Afghanistan. Austrian police launched major operation in Vienna after reports of shots fired near synagogue. More insanity. Discrimination against men, ? Navalny ally Milov challenges law preventing mothers of young kids being imprisoned, but not fathers. Multiple attackers involved in terrorist incident in Vienna, says the Austrian Interior Minister. And of course, I'm sure you guys know about this. A Pakistani girls' school stages mock beheading as cleric vows vengeance on France for insulting the Prophet. One person dead, 15 injured, terrorist suspect down after attack at six locations in Austria's Vienna. A heavily armed and dangerous terrorist on the loose after Vienna attack, says Austrian Interior Minister. Twitter steps up political censorship with Facebook-like labels for election announcements from non-mainstream media accounts. Which reminds me, Flash 001, there might be 3 zeros. No, 2. Flash 001 USA, that's the name of the channel. Flash, all together, Flash 001 USA. Put out a video about censorship. And you might want to look at that, because he's not talking about on Facebook or YouTube. His email was being censored. His email. Yahoo, to be exact. Vienna attack. CCTV witness footage shows terrorist suspect run around and open fire at central city sites. This is our Europe. Macron voices shock and grief over Vienna terror attack. Warns enemies will be dealt with. We will never be intimidated. Austrian Chancellor condemns hideous Vienna terror attack and deploys military to assist police. Do not send children to school. Vienna parents told at least one suspected terrorist is still on the run. So there's still one out there as far as they know. Man, we really need to get our poop in a group. Not only us individually and with our families and loved ones as preppers or survivalists or whatever name you want to call it. But you better get your poop in a group in every sense of the way. You. But also collectively, as a nation and as a species, we better get to figuring this out. It's not real hard. It's real damn simple. It really is. 3 words. Do no harm. How hard is that? That's all I've got tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow night, God willing, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Get your preps together. Get your houses in order. Go over them plans as many times as you've got time to do it. Everybody has a good night. Till tomorrow, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit.